Hi, and welcome to my ASMR Katz YouTube channel. Here you see my cat sitting in front of me. Her name is Mr. Cat, and she is absolutely delightful, but also a little bit special, because usually she really enjoys cuddle, but most of the time she is more, you can watch, but you can touch. So I was already very happy to have her here on my, come back, here close by, but she's always a little bit hard to reach and hard to get. That's her style. So, back to the main topic, my ASMR alphabet. This is the series about, and today we speak about Q. And the topic of the letter Q will be quitting. Katz. At first, I thought I speak about quiet, because in my ASMR series at the moment, I am way more at the emotional side of things. I already spoke from the letters A to Q around different emotions, but now I am at Q, what is really hard to find the emotion for, and I think quiet is something where I not get a long time to talk about. So I take quitting. I really hope that you're not a quitter. I'm sorry. Sometimes we all quit things. But I know that quitting is most of the time something that is under a few circumstances good, but on the most circumstances it's not. And why is that so? I am at a point in my life where I know I really want to do something. I decided to be an active member in my community where I live, and I really, really, really enjoy to create. The process of coming there and know what I want to create and how I want to be and what I want to do is a little bit more, how should I say, unknown until you really find the path you want to go. So the first thing I've ever quit, what I practiced very, very long for, was the instrument I played. And this was the oboe. And at some point, I needed to go into a big band or something else, because I couldn't play the instrument anymore alone for myself. It was pretty boring. But then I was in my teenage years, so I quit to play this instrument any further. And I spent a long time learning it and coming to the point where I can read note and be as good as I was. When I look back, I already ask myself why you played oboe. It's not that best instrument, but I never let myself drag down from that thought so much. So what I did is that I learned piano, and now I like to play piano because it's very meditative and it's a lot of fun. But I knew that it was really hard to explain myself why I quitted this instrument and learned now a different one. Then I also quit a lot of other things. And in the between, I was like for sure in my teenage years the biggest quitter I've ever was, because I lost interest in things and I wanted to change, and then I don't like that sport anymore I did before. And yeah, there was a lot of different reasons why I actually quitted stuff. But to motivate myself again and not get dragged down too much, to say, I want now to change and to not be a quitter anymore, is also something very important, because when you always quit, you never will come to the goal where you could be when you would stay focused and behind what you do. And I know from a lot of other people that the ones who not quit and really was very long in that specific practice of whatever, they are so good in it. They are so good in it because they haven't gave up. But I know that a lot of people feel also at some point that they struggle with what they do, and that they then quit, and most of the time when someone quits, they never go back to where they was before. Sometimes it is also good to quit, because then you actually can focus on other things you like more. And I know that sometimes it is absolutely scary to quit. Sometimes it really feels like you lose something so important when you quit where you worked so hard for. I remember when I stopped to play the oboe, I was not at all feeling like a quitter or feel bad that I quit. But now I always think that I not even are able anymore to read notes properly, or that I now just tried for longer to play in a band, in a big band or anything. But I know I was a teenager and I had a lot of other things in mind than actually playing something. And I also meet a lot of friends who needed to do certain things because their parents wanted to, and they was really sad about that and did everything with not any little passion anymore, that they also just can let it be. But when you really like to become in something very, very good, and even better, make a living from it, it is the best not to quit. It is so important that you start to believe in yourself, work hard for it, and then just don't quit. But always, when I speak with friends and people around about their job, then I always think, why you don't quit when you're so unhappy? Why you don't quit? But most of all, people don't quit and stay in situations they don't like to be because they are afraid. Maybe even so full of fear. And as you might already know, I spoke about fear in this ASMR alphabet series a little bit before. So how can you have the right motivation to know if you like what you do? How can you find out if it's worth it to quit or if it's the best to stay and hold on to? And I would say a very simple formula is that you don't quit in something you really like to do from the bottom of your heart. But when you do something you really don't like from the bottom of your heart, it's always a risk, but also a scary move, but most of the time the right move, to quit and do what you are passionate about and really enjoy what you are passionate about, because then it is easier for you to focus and not quit. I also know that a lot of times the pressure from the people around you is so intense that you really are so more afraid than you actually would be when you just would decide for yourself. And this is why I always recommend to not much listen what happens left or right from the people who speak with you, rather than just listen to yourself and make the decisions you want to make. When I look here in the background, I see my cat sitting on the ground and listening to the noises that happen here around. And it's so cute because there's something on the roof and she's always watching up. And I also hear a lot of times that there's something on the roof, and maybe you hear it too when I whisper here the words in your ear. I really would love if you could see that, but sadly she sits on the other side of the camera. To not quit is also a matter of how stubborn you are. Sometimes, even so, when I sit here and make my ASMR and make all my other projects, I also have that feeling that I'm really lost in between. I always think, oh, it's so stressful. Is it the right thing to do? Do I work hard enough or do I work too less? And what would be when I would close the door behind me? Would there open another door? Is it the right thing? And the weird thing about these thoughts is always that they repeat itself, no matter in which situation you are. It's just your brain wired to work that way. But I know everything what I do with the bottom of my heart and with so much passion that I see that the few fruits are growing, and I see that it makes absolutely sense to hold on. And I am always so nervous because I want everything to happen directly and fast, but I know that sometimes it is the way. The way is most of the time the goal, because when you reach the point where you wanted to come, then there is no goal anymore and you are there. But when you not quit, the time when you really are stubborn and not quit with something, you can achieve also great things. But sometimes it is better to quit, for example, when you smoke or drink or having bad habits that are not good for your health or anything else. So the matter of quitting or not quit is a very delicate one. So the best would be to ask yourself, what is the right way to do? Where should I better quit, and where should I not quit? I would say the best is to quit with any bad habit that is against your health, your well-being, and also against others' well-being. So when you hurt someone else, this you actually should quit directly. So when you feel unhappy in a job, I would rather quit and would see if I find something better and work hard for it, that I find something better. When I would play an instrument I really like, I would never quit. I would just go through. And when I would smoke or drink, I would directly quit. And then I hear often, oh, quitting is so hard. But I think when you put your mindset straight, then it's very easy. And there's nothing about it to just don't do it. But sometimes you need a certain amount of experience to come there and to understand what is better to quit and what is better not to quit. Maybe you want to write me in the comments what you would like to quit, or what you never quitted and what you therefore have for a benefit now in your life. I saw once a little documentary about a wonder child who was very good in playing violin. And this kid also said, I'm not a wonder child, it was not something that I just had. I am a hard-working kid who was not knowing better. He always was super focused and played every day for 8 hours, that he is now at the point where he is, and is very fortunate at this point, but the way was very hard, and in his mind he was quitting so often, but he stayed strong, and he lost for sure a part of his childhood, but he also gained freedom now in the 30s. So I think in the end there is no right or wrong about the way of quitting. In the end it is about the mindset you have behind and what you want to achieve. My name is ASMR Katz, and I am glad you clicked here on this little video. I would say it is not easy to speak over the topic of quitting, because it's not really an emotion, but also it was easier than quiet, because then I also don't know what I say. So this is my ASMR alphabet series, and if you are curious now, feel free to follow, subscribe, click on the notification bell and see what I have else in stock waiting for you, because I make other videos where I read a book and where I eat some food or share amazing ASMR experiences with my friends. You are warmly invited to check them out, and hopefully we will see us at the next episode of this ASMR series. Bye bye.